Little I know I've got. Oh. I got.
Joke's on you, I wasn't paying attention.
Jokes
Wait,
for you.
what's going on?
I will ruin stuff for you anyway. Hello?
Oh no. Oh, it's starting.
I can and I will take my revenge. Thank you very much.
Chaos true. Chaos true.
Mwah, mwah.
Oh no.
Okay, there we
muted.
go.
I fucked.
Oh, no. No, it happened. No.
We're not live.
What'd you do?
Nothing.
What did you do?
OBS decided to be rude to me. That's what happened. It disconnected my mic. But I fixed it. So
And this is
the ambush
this
didn't
is
do
why you
anything.
do not
I
ambush.
attempted to, but you know, whatever.
That's what you get, Joe.
That's what you get.
Okay.
Backfire.
Oh god, that look in your eyes is terrifying.
Okay, so, anyways, as always, we'll be doing a little round of promotions and stuff, and plugs and all that fun stuff, because I'm sure people have, you know, wants and needs to do that. So whoever wishes to go can go.
I'm just dead inside. That's all.
Well, hopefully we can perk you up again.
Hi, I'm Slay. I'm a TTRPG performer. My Twitter is at sons_of_warband. That's pretty much it for me.
Hi, I'm Lucas Santana, and I think this is my last episode here.
I believe so. I believe that's what, you know, I think that's what we came to the conclusion what would be easiest for you. So yeah, that's kind of an announcement that I believe I've already stated before, but just this is something that just it's easier for scheduling. What we as a group understand, so that's
So
we had a couple more weeks.
I understand, but we're not happy about it.
I refuse to understand.
My Saturdays have become significantly less available. So
we were supposed to be besties, Lucas.
Oh, don't worry. I'll get them back here for a series finale, but until then.
Yeah, and maybe some other select episodes in between as well, as I am able. But other than here, you can also normally find me over on Rule of Lore. Right now, we're mostly just running Ramblemancy, which is basically a round table style talk show where we talk about all kinds of nerdy stuff all the time.
All kinds of nerdy, rambly nothing that somehow has turned into
super
a very
good time, you guys. You should check it out.
It's also it's a great amount of content that you can just honestly, if you just have nothing to do, go for it.
Yeah, if you're into podcasts or like having like people like if you're like me and like having stuff to listen to in the background that is just people talking about stuff, there's so much Ramblemancy. And you can find us at twitch.tv/Rule of Lore. You can also find us at Rule of Lore on YouTube, where we have all of our whole archive of content. We have quite a few actual plays on our YouTube as well, and we've got one currently running.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so we've got one currently running. That's sort of Tomorrow is Dead, season 2, is a zombie apocalypse story about the end of the world. Currently using the Walking Dead RPG from Free League. We are currently not airing any episodes, but we are recording the second half of the second season. So that will be coming soon. But the first season is on YouTube, in which we use kids on bikes for it, and it's very fun. And then we have all kinds of other actual plays on there as well from the past. And yeah, you can check those out. You can find me basically anywhere on any platform as Jenk Hankins or Jenk_Hankins. And you can, yep. That's it. That's The End by Lucas Santana. Okay.
Hi there. I am Silver Sugar, aka Risa, and you can find me most places on the internet as Silver Sugar or X Silver Sugar. The X is silent. Right now, I've been doing some just general gaming stuff, playing some Minecraft, hoping to hop on for Pokemon next, and doing a lot of art. And please consider commissioning me. And yeah, that's all I got.
Hi, I am Little Legend, and I am horribly sick. I think, or not, whatever. So if you hear me being violently sick, I'm very sorry. I swear I will get, yeah, so I'll get better by the next time. Anyway, I am an artist, and I draw. You can find me pretty much everywhere as Little Legend or Little Zero Legend. Um, and please do commission me as well. I'm trying to get better. I draw pixel art, and I mostly post everything, like if you want regular updates, on Little Legend Arts on Tumblr. Thank you very much, and I am happy to be back again. I'm sorry for being absent.
All right. Well, to finish off all these type of announcements, because God, now I'm suspicious. Nope, not muted. Okay, we're good. But anyways, in terms
Loser.
of our announcements on my end, the application is still open for the Candela Obscura Circle of Fire and Blood, and that one is already putting me through the ringer in terms of applicants. I believe I have about 20 right now. So if there is any interest in something like that, that is kind of sort of a Victorian turn of the century occult horror genre game. From what you see here for Star Trek Intelligence, if that's the metric you're going by, don't. It's going to be way more intense, and I might actually put like an 18 plus warning on it. We'll see, because it might get there. On top of that, hopefully, I
No
know
kitties allowed.
last week, it came out way later than I intended, but sometimes YouTube's like that. But hopefully, our second episode of Starbright Fantasy Episode 2 should be out sometime next week. I'm not going to say a definitive day, because I know exactly how that happened last time. But Episode 2 should be out, which we had, one of our players, Risa, joined for that one, and I got Lynn, and I got thoroughly stomped on just about every encounter. But there's that. On top of that, baked into the announcements, obviously, Lucas is stepping away because schedule-wise, it just is the most pragmatic for him. I will get him back here and there, potentially, most definitely for a series finale, because I think I can manage that. And then on top of that, with our Twitch here, if you are having people watch or are watching with them, please do encourage them to follow us, because if we hit 50 followers, I did say I would run a Lower Decks 2-shot, so I highly encourage that if that is something you would like to see.
Please do it for me. I need it so badly.
Please. Oh my god, yes! Come on, guys. I don't know. Make your family. Bring your friends. Force them.
Okay, well,
I have a knife.
Well, that's getting extreme. But on top of that, if you are watching this through the VODs as well that are uploaded to YouTube's Rune and Relic channel, I encourage you to do the same if you have not already. In addition to that, support us there too. We'd appreciate it. But let's see, is there any other type of announcements that I have to go through here? Don't believe so. So, be back with you in just a moment.
It's always something.
Welcome back. So, as we pull into this scene, the kind of sunset hours at the Madrid field office are still very much prevalent. The busy work of the other teams and residents of the Madrid field office, as well as some of the civilian assistants, are still dealing with the aftermath of the security breach, shall we say. It has been 24 hours since that event, but during those 24 hours, the damage is quite large. Saying the damage is intense is an understatement. The large type of breach that you incurred, a lot of low-level assignments got thrown into the public, so you're already dealing with concepts of like unsanctioned espionage or scandals of some variation. The higher level missions, you've been lucky enough to avoid any overly damning consequences. However, of a different light, for Commander Jalorn, there is the being untethered, shall we say, brings with it consequence and investigation that has since then been kept behind red tape. With all of that being said, during this instance, in this after period, as people are reflecting on what happened, seeing as your emotions were in one place but also another place, for you, Lieutenant Caraballo, over the past, day or so, during the time of like cleaning up all this incident and stuff, what do you think you've been doing?
I think Alec has definitely been sort of helping to shore up any sort of residual gaps in our security, and probably putting a lot more scrutiny on things that maybe before he might have just sort of passed by, but now he's like just very kind of putting a microscope to anything that could even potentially be some sort of breach or weakness. Probably consulting with Kavai and Dr. Atherton as much as is required for when it comes to like computer systems and things like that, and those kinds of security elements. But even just in terms of the physical security of the building, knowing that we have beings who can impersonate Starfleet officers, I think is sort of taking a toll a bit on Alec. He probably wasn't serving during like the Dominion War necessarily, at least not directly.
If you were serving anywhere near the Dominion War, it would have been at the very tail end of it.
Right. But I know that Alec remembers his parents being part of a lot of what was happening during that time. And hearing a lot of the residual like the fear and the paranoia that came about as sort of hearing it secondhand through his parents, but like, and I think it's that the Dominion War and like the changeling scares was never really like, has, I think over the course of the last period of like the last 24 hours or so, has not been far from Alec's mind. But also very kind of present on his mind is a growing sense that there was a failure here and it wasn't entirely or even mostly theirs.
Yeah.
GM, for my edification, like, what's the time difference from the Dominion War? Like, how far out are we from that event?
Let's see, it's 2385. It's almost 2386 at this point. Hold on, let me do the math in my brain.
Thank you.
Almost a decade, or just over.
Okay, so I was like in high school age when it was going on.
I'm pretty sure Alec was still like just finishing up at the academy.
Roughly.
But, I mean, in terms of Starfleet Academy, they did have a changeling breach at that time.
Yeah.
You never witnessed it, but you heard about it. Because I guarantee you during your time, whenever that was, security within the Academy went up by exponential
everyone was
amount.
talking about it. Everyone was talking about it all the time. Yeah. For the cadets, I think it was probably something that, even though it was very close to home, it still felt very far away because we were not directly involved in like the goings on of the Dominion War. But like, it's so like it didn't ever turn into probably the huge scare that it was elsewhere. But at the very least, like, it was present. It was always present. The knowledge that was happening was always there.
Yeah, I'll say you're probably just kind of going through the motions of just these type of feelings, but also just moving through the Madrid field office and just doing any sort of checks, figuring out, like, making sure things are locked down when, kind of towards the main, like, lobby and hall, you actually are, greeted as he enters is Assistant Director Elias Nevrin, who is a human, but holds the rank of a 2-star admiral, and in addition to that is, in terms of being played, I think Gary Cole is probably what we agreed upon, but he kind of steps in. He's not wearing like the typical Starfleet command reds. He's very civilian casual at this point. Kind of looks around. I heard you folks had an event.
Admiral, I wasn't expecting to see you. Yes, it's been a difficult last few days.
I can definitely relate to that. I wish I came bearing good news, but I'm not. And I figured it would be more appreciated if I was just more direct than trying to beat around the bush.
I can take you in to see the commander if you like.
Well, why don't you follow me, because it does concern you too, potentially.
Alec, a whole bunch of questions suddenly burst in Alec's brain, but he, instead of asking any of them, just nods and says, and sort of gestures for him to go and say, "Sir."
Lead the way. I'll get lost.
Right. I'll take him in.
Mm-hmm. Commander Jaloin, do you think at this point you're probably going through your entire network of like security codes and stuff within your office and resetting pretty much everything? Would that be fair to say?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. As that occurs, the door chime comes through, signifying that there are people outside your office, which is probably set into privacy mode at this point.
She pulls up a quick screen, checks the door feed, and then taps a command to let the door open up. And she taps another command where it just basically masks what's on the screens. It's like the programs are still running, but like anybody else looking at them is likely going to see something else. It's like, and they just can't make sense of what's on there.
It's like a bank screen with monitors.
Mm-hmm. Come in.
Oh wow, you I think this might be the first time I have ever seen you a little shaken, Commander.
It's been a while, yes.
Well,
I would like to add that there's a very good chance that outside of like direct official contact, this is probably the first time since the incident that Alec has been like even close to alone in a room with Jalorin.
mm-hmm. So I told your lieutenant, I wish I could be bearing good news, but I'm not, actually. Just, don't shoot the messenger.
I see. She hits another command to make sure the door is secure. And then gestures over to the seating area. Will you be staying long enough for a cup of tea?
I mean, anything to give me an excuse not to go back home to my kids right away is absolutely.
She meanders over to the table and pours him a cup. Would you like anything, Lieutenant?
No, thank you, Commander. Alec's gonna sit down and then immediately just sort of start fidgeting.
Right.
Would you like a pad to hold?
I think Alec will then realize what he's doing and stop and be like, "No, I'm okay."
Right. I'll try not to ruin that for you, Lieutenant. Plain and simple, Commander, Director Efrajal, she will not be heading the Madrid field office as Director of Operations. She is, in fact, stepping down.
I see.
Not that it's anything that either of us can control, but I figured I'd give you the heads up. It's more of a bureaucracy thing. This did happen technically under her watch.
I understand. Any inklings yet of who's going to be taking her place?
For the time being, me. But
good luck with that.
I didn't want the job, but here I am. However, I did have a question for the lieutenant, actually, seeing as He was very proactive in figuring out about a potential breach of a much more serious nature.
It was, I don't want to say it was nothing, but to be quite honest with you, sir, others here at the intelligence office were zeroing in on the same information at the same time.
Humility is a really good trait for you, Lieutenant.
Just saying the truth, sir.
And I appreciate that. Lieutenant, have you ever heard of a particular special operations unit known as GATE?
That catches DeLorean's attention.
Yeah, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this the same thing that Anna talked to me about? Or was that something else?
No, that was Project Full Circle.
Right. Okay.
She mentioned
yeah.
GATE briefly, but it was just such a passing mention.
Right. I'll sort of frown and kind of cock my head a little bit. I said, "In passing only, sir."
Perfect, because it's a relatively new concept that I would like to adopt for the Madrid field office and Starfleet intelligence going forward. Being a proactive officer, this is entirely your decision, but GATE, or the Galactic Action Threat Evaluation teams, are meant to be a sort of specialized response unit. Intelligence is too broad spectrum, and as of right now, it doesn't have a focused mission. But I think you might have found one.
Sir?
I have my ways of finding out information, but I believe we have a little bit of a infiltrator situation.
Yes. We found a bit of information on this recently. I've been working trying to root out any potential identifiers or others who may have been compromised. I'm happy to turn over any and all of our findings on the matter to this Operation Gate.
Mm-hmm. Well, that would be up to the commander at her discretion. But, and he kind of reaches in and to his sort of casual coat and pulls out a stack of 3 to 4, maybe even 5 pads. They're very thin. They're not like typical pads. They are actually just made of basically pure glass and have the screens kind of embedded inlaid there, and you can see a little bit of the isolinear working, but it's relatively new tech. He kind of said they're just a little bit thinner than like a plexiglass pane. He sets them there. Well, Lieutenant, I'll give you a day or so to come up with an answer for me, but take a look at that. And Commander, I really hope I'm not encroaching on your territory, but as lovely as the tea was, I have my own, if you'll pardon the term, paperwork to get to.
Sir, I'm sorry, I think we maybe have some wires crossed. What exactly am I giving you an answer for? What's happening here?
You have the most information in terms of finding out this, and you are one of the most skilled in terms of intelligence and in terms of practical use and coming up with drills. If it's something you're interested in, the Gate Field office is on Jupiter Station.
think Alec just sort of lets all of that just sort of sink in for a moment, and just like once again a whole bunch of thoughts that he doesn't say out loud. He just sort of like looks at the commander for a moment, then looks back at the admiral and just nods and says, I'll look this over.
You should. There's some interesting recommendations that came my way. And before he heads off, he'll hand a small wooden box to you, Jaloran. Don't open that unless the answer's yes.
Jaloran nods, and she reaches over to a pad to release the control on the door so that he could leave smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully your paperwork won't take too long.
Well, Commander, the Admiral was efficient. I imagine any paperwork that gets backed up will be my own damning inequalities. But he will depart as the kind of sliding doors kind of just hiss back shut.
Yeah, Alec waits completely motionless until the door closes, and then immediately grabs the pads and starts kind of like looking at them.
They are...
Jaloran just sits back for a moment to enjoy some more tea while he goes through that.
Yeah. I think also, just to be clear, just because I feel like this is I think Alec is really good at like, I think he's trained in infiltration, in like adopting whatever techniques he needs to get the job done. But outside of getting the job done, Alec is not the best at like hiding things. Mm-hmm. So it will be extremely obvious to Jaloran that Alec has been avoiding her.
As you kind of leap and look into these pads, some of them are just mission reports. They're basically set as pending. And some of them are personnel profiles, but they're not Starfleet personnel files, or rather, not all of them are. You're looking at people that are Federation affiliated or Starfleet adjacent, but they come from vastly different type of backgrounds, like the Trill Science Department, the Bajoran military, just all these different types of people that have specialized skill sets. On top of that, there is I don't know if this is something that you would find comforting or annoying, but there are words of encouragement and recommendation from a Commander Lee.
What's the acronym stand for again?
Galactic Action Threat Evaluation.
Excuse me, can I ask a question?
Yeah, go for it.
So a bit more relevant for me, did medical information of like everyone in Starfleet also get leaked?
Everyone from the Madrid field office.
So it still got like all of their different, very sensitive medical situations and such.
Yeah, basically anything that was locked behind like level 9 or lower is basically out in the open and in the wind now.
Yeah, that wouldn't be locked that heavily, I'm guessing.
No,
Understood.
That's
Thank
pretty
you.
heavy. Level 9 is commander clearance, So that's
No, I mean what level is medical history? Like
that's honestly somewhat detached technically, because when it comes to like medical purviews and stuff like that, honestly, unless it is damning to a mission, the like commanding officer actually doesn't need to know really.
I mean, you say that, but we had 2 other incidents where isolated material was included in the data breach.
Yeah, that's true. But in terms of like medical history, it's one of those things where it's both known and not known. Like if
and considering the nature of the breach, it's probably one of those things where they decided not to go after the medical stuff and focused more on the mission stuff, because that's got a lot more damning stuff in it.
Yeah, they did a little like the medical stuff is out there for sure, but it's not enough to where like any type of like data salvagers or something like that. They're not gonna care that much about the whole medical things. They'd rather just look into personnel and mission files that are more damning.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just like as a member of medical staff, I think that would be kind of what Mira is more worried about, because she can't do anything about like
I
the
would
other
say
thing.
realistically, the vast majority of Madrid you don't have to worry about. Your primary team you might have to.
Yeah, that's kind of her problem right now. Sorry for interrupting. Continue.
I have a question, Joe. I'm sorry, I don't want to break in.
No, go for it.
But if that does directly lead me to, were our personnel files released in the data breach? All of them?
Anything that
and were they classified? Like, were they completely declassified?
Because of how rushed this was, not completely, but they are out there. So they're not like... A lot of it is still censored, basically, so it just leaves room for guesswork, but given enough time, it might become public knowledge.
Joke's on you all. Much of Kavai's is fake anyway.
Yeah, and Jalorn's is too high to have been released.
Yeah, I'm suddenly like really worried about some specific information being doxed, Joe.
Oh yeah. Actually, considering that half of us have very sensitive information.
Yeah, but
I have a feeling for Team 1, Jalorn would have pulled those files higher than level 9, and would not have been accessed.
Yeah, a lot of it is not... Here's what I'll say. The stuff that was meant to be censored will probably stay such for quite a while until people can put 2 and 2 together, which will take some time, thankfully. But all that being aside,
I guess at least for me, I'm more concerned about medical records.
Oh, we'll get there. But
damn it! Now the public knows. The public will know about Alex's peanut allergy.
Oh no!
The more Mira is working on hiding it, everyone will think that he has cat allergy. Actually,
it is a little worrying if the general public, if the public finds out that the intelligence division's engineer is on a host of antipsychotics and shit.
Oh no! They will know that I don't have an appendix anymore.
Anyways, but in this room, Commander and Lieutenant Caraballo, definitely, Jolene, like Lucas said, it's not that hard to determine that you have been avoided.
I think at this point, Alec, although at this moment, Alec is very engrossed in these pads that have been left behind, so it's like he's almost seems to not even entirely be aware of his immediate environment and situation.
She gives him a few more minutes before she quietly puts down her cup. And she nods over to one corner. At which point, a soft thump on the table and a quiet whistling in his ear.
Alec's just gonna like sort of not jump exactly, but like just sort of like very suddenly come out of his like laser focus and like look over and be like, it's not security camera footage if that's what you're looking for.
And he looks up into a very bright purple fur face, and she just trills at him. Mm-hmm. Like, and just nods, like, yeah, okay.
I think at this moment, Alec will sort of like look up and then just like suddenly be back in the moment and just be like, Commander, I'm sorry. I don't mean to take up your space. I'm sure you're busy.
Aurelia just like kind of stares at him and leans towards him and is like, I want pets.
Yeah, Alec will just sort of like very sort of distractedly pet.
I love Aurelia so much.
To be clear, Joe, what I'm looking at, what exactly is it that Alec is looking at in terms of like what is being asked here?
You would be probably leading the first official gate team, and basically all these dossiers are here for you to decide who you will work the best with.
I think that's all starting to kind of sink in to Alec, and he's just gonna look up at Commander Jaloran and just say, they want me to lead a team. They want me to lead a team that I put together. They want me to this seems like it should be handled by somebody who's, qualified to do this kind of thing.
I think you're not giving yourself enough credit, Lieutenant.
Commander, you've seen my academy record. I barely scraped through my basic level command courses. Barely. In fact, I believe the exact note from my professor was nearly adequate.
But you still passed. And that was the academy. How long ago was the academy?
I don't know. 10, 11 years maybe?
And how long are you going to let that hang over your head? The rest of your life?
Commander, I think Alec will just sort of take those pads and set them down on the desk and just say, I apologize for background noise.
It's okay. The field office is being worked on right now.
That's true. There's definitely some construction happening in the back.
Many repairs.
I have learned a lot over the course of my time with the Madrid field office, and I've learned a lot more of what I am capable of here, and with the right team and with the right guidance. But I don't think that I'm ready for this. And if you need any proof of that, Commander, it is the fact that on my watch, my own commander was shot within 10 meters of me.
Neither one of us could have predicted what happened that night.
No, but I should have been here. This is where I should have been, because what happened that night didn't start that night, Commander. It started while we were off playing Romulan out in... I think it's at this moment that like a lot of Alex's frustration over the course of the last like several days is all suddenly just kind of coming out all at once.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't have been out there, Commander. We shouldn't have been doing what we were doing out there. And as a result, this happened. So you tell me, Commander, after all of this, after the breaches that we've had, the leaks that we just experienced, you tell me how we were protecting Starfleet and the Federation by being out there.
You're likely right. We shouldn't have been out there. But hindsight is 20/20. We can look at the past and overanalyze it until our hair is gray and we're halfway into the grave. That doesn't help us move forward.
Commander, I wasn't there. And I'm sorry.
I don't blame you, Lieutenant. Because what I remember is you were there to make sure I lived.
I think Alex sort of relaxes just a little bit, and kind of like slumps back a little bit in the chair, and just kind of like mumbles a little bit. Just still don't think it makes me suitable to. They want me to pick the team. They want me to pick the team.
Takes you a moment to realize that Aurelia's kind of moving some pads around. Well, I think you might be having a little help there.
Right. I need some time to think about this, I think. And I sort of like clears the pads. I've taken up enough of your time, Commander.
I will say, I think you are qualified. The assistant director's right. You did take initiative on your own, and you found very valuable information. I think this will be a good move for you. Take your time.
Thank you, Commander. And I think he'll grab the pads and look down at Aurelia and say, I know you want to help, but I should probably figure this out myself. And then just sort of feels a little foolish for a moment, and then just starts walking out.
She gives him an encouraging whistle as he leaves.
Right. So I have the question now for the other commander, a Lieutenant Commander Hone. Given that Kadan's memories have come back slightly, and you do know that symbol to some degree, what is Tate doing in this moment, like, after a day or so of experiencing that?
Tate is trying to find out information on that symbol. And probably being stonewalled at every turn, because this has to do with what happened to their ship, and that's all been classified above their head for years, for months.
Mm-hmm.
So Tate, after going through what little context they have and coming up short, Tate will go to Commander Jaloran, actually, because she knows who it is, and so she's seen the symbol. Tate knows that, so they're gonna go and get answers, because their ship was destroyed. This was when they don't even remember this part of their life, and they're getting a little tired of people keeping secrets from them.
Mm-hmm. Jaloran is probably still in the middle of doing the great thing of basically resetting passwords for anything and everything.
Tate will walk in unceremoniously. This is not like them. They don't knock and just go in.
Well, you'll immediately run into a problem of running into the door.
It is set into whiteout mode, so.
Commander, can you let me in?
Like one of those moments of you're expecting it to open and you just kind of almost bonk your nose.
Commander, can you let me in, please?
It takes a second, but the door swishes open.
Thank you. I go in.
Given the nature of probably the facial expression that Tate is wearing, for you, Commander, it's pretty evident that this is probably a one-on-one conversation.
Can I get you anything? And she gestures over to the couch.
No, answers would be nice. Other than that, I don't really have anything I need right now. And you can see that Tate is very tense, and you've known Tate well enough by now that you know when they're gearing up for a fight, if they have to get in a fight. And they're like, Commander, I need to know more about that symbol. I need to know who that symbol represents, or what that symbol represents. I need to know now.
She cocks an eyebrow at them, and more firmly gestures to the couch.
They will sit reluctantly, but they're not breaking eye contact.
You seem tense.
When I got home a couple of days ago, one of Kadon's memories flashed in my brain. That symbol was on the ship that destroyed my ship. That killed Kadon, killed me, and turned me into Tate Hone. I don't remember everything that happened, but I need to know that symbol. It killed my people. It killed Kadon, it killed me.
She joins Tate on the couch, but she's clearly concerned. When you say on that ship, from whose perspective? Tate's or Kadon's?
For clarification, was that memory from Kadon's perspective or from Tate's?
That was from Kadon's memory, because you do know specifically that was Kadon kind of went was always sort of by the books, but also unorthodox. That he broke one of the most cardinal rules in terms of being a ship's commander. He went aboard the other vessel himself. With an away team, of course, but you were not part of that.
This is from Kadon's perspective. The ship, the symbol. It was all... And Tate's, their head is in their hands, and you can tell they're not quite spiraling, but they're getting there. They're just, and then they're kind of pulling themselves back, and then it's like a yo-yo. It's like bring it back up and then go back down, up and down.
Tate, I need you to look at me.
Tate looks at them, at you.
I need to know where you're at right now.
In what sense? I'm here. I can do my job. I will do my job. And I can do it well, as I've been doing it well.
But mentally...
Mentally, I don't remember what happened when my ship was destroyed. Kadon, I don't remember how I died. I don't remember how I became Tate. I don't remember how I got us out of there, but all I know is we got back to Starfleet, and I got a commendation on my record, and then the whole incident was put beyond what my mother could get. My mother tried really hard, and my mother can be very persuasive when she wants to be, but she couldn't get a hold of what was going on. So I know someone's covering this up or keeping it classified or whatever you want to call it. But this is part of my life that's missing, and I could deal with it. I was dealing with it. I was fine. And this symbol shows up and brings back these memories. And now I just want to know what happened. I want to know. I had friends that died. I had people under my command that died. I died. I want to know what happened. I need to know what this symbol means, Commander. I need to know.
And the difficult part is like I need to know, I think, more than what you're able to tell me, considering your current state. But I can tell you.
Commander Jalon, why don't you make me a presence command roll here? Presence command. And Tate, I want you to make me a insight and security. No, insight command.
I'm wondering if I could pull in a focus. Composure?
Composure will work.
Does negotiation work?
Yes.
Alright.
And we're just gonna... I'm not gonna give you the amount of successes you need. Just tell me how many successes you get.
3.
3.
Okay. Here is what I will give you. In terms of things, Jolene, yes, she is somewhat talking in circles, but it is out of genuine concern to some degree. For you, Tate, as frustrated as you are, you can kind of understand that, but you're also seeing something that is so rare in Jolene. In terms of that symbol, though she has encountered it, she is honestly just about in the dark about it as you are, just ever so slightly a little more ahead of you in the know, but not by much.
You don't know much about them, do you?
Honestly, no. And I can tell you that the reason why your mother couldn't find anything is because that mission is the one I had to cut all kinds of red tape for. And she's referring to when she had to call the Admiral.
Yeah, and Admiral Pyre is on the upper end of a 4-star Admiral, because there are 4-star Admirals, but he is so close to being a 5-star, essentially.
And if whatever happened to your ship is involved with that, that's why your mom couldn't find anything out.
Okay.
But the sense I'm getting is some memories have returned, but they're still fractured. You don't have a full picture yet.
No, I've tried, but I don't think I'm in the right state to get those memories right now. I tried to get them, but it didn't really work out very well. I didn't get anything more clear. I remember some from Kadan's perspective, but I remember none from Tate's. And you notice, Jolorn, that Tate is sort of referring to himself in a third person, like the symbiote a little bit, and that's kind of a sign of more integration, but it's still not quite there yet because they're not using mine. They're not using my memories or something. They're using Tate's and Kadan, so it's a little bit of integration, a little bit more than what they had, but it's still got a bit of a ways to go.
She leans forward, and she's clearly mulling something over. But it's a rare moment of indecision.
We're gonna hold with that indecision for a moment, as between the last three members here, between Dr. Atherton Kavai and Lieutenant Loris, what are all of you doing post-breach?
Well, I didn't want to interrupt anybody, but now we're leading into an awkward silence, so I guess I'll take charge. Well, like, I know other people have mentioned it, but like, Clary is very much of the opinion that we should be more worried about this big-ass data breach that, everybody's worried about, but she's specifically... How do I best describe this? Basically, like, how was this data uploaded? Like, can the average public citizen find this information? Is it just like, I don't know, I don't understand if it was like published on WikiLeaks. I mean, obviously WikiLeaks isn't a thing, but like, I'm trying to determine if this was...
Yeah, like, what's our equivalent understanding of this?
In terms of like, the personnel, like,
is it like on a website out there where somebody would need to be able to find the website, or
personnel files? Most definitely are more limited. They're not as out in the open. In terms of mission files and things that Tate pulled the plug on, those have essentially just gone into the winds of the press, which is an absolute...
Okay, so these have... So were they all initially released in the same place and presumably one press member found it and started spreading it around? Or have they been released in different, like, had they been released in different places, like different information in different places, if that makes sense? Basically, can I determine if the original uploader basically, like, did a huge batch dump of information on his own website and just... somebody, it was found and disseminated that way, or if it was specifically like given to the press by the original information gatherer, as well as being released in different places to cause the most havoc.
To look at this up, you can either do an insight security or a reason security. The difficulty will be 3.
Okay. Sorry, 1 second. I need to bring up my character sheet. I was not prepared. Okay. Do I have anything for this? The price of peace is paranoia?
Yeah, that'll work.
And remind me what it... I know I say this literally every fucking time. Remember what using a supporting value does?
I believe you're just gonna be getting...
It's just a crit?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And then you said it was reason security, which is a 14, and I rolled 2 12s.
2 12s, okay, so that's going to be 1 momentum, but looking through, you're kind of doing your own little data search, and truly, a nightmare for you, Atherton, and the whole Madrid field office, because it's ended up in basically 2 types of database locations. The somewhat shrinking Orion Syndicate, and Ferengi Marauder vessel.
The information was delivered directly to those two sources from our anonymous
Yeah, and from
hacker.
what you can kind of take a look at in following the trail, both groups don't know who gave it to them. They just know they were anonymously given this and have since utilized it.
Okay, and could you repeat that with like detail on the Ferengi ship name and all that?
It just got sent to a Ferengi Marauder vessel. It's technically not anything special. It's just a vessel with a service code and all that, but that's about it.
All right, and what was the other location? I'm sorry, I'm bad at your day.
Orion and the Orion
Orion.
Syndicate.
Okay, it was the Orion part I was missing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This simultaneously makes it easier and harder, because both of these people... Who sold the information to the press? Both of them?
Oh, no. Ferengi, easily.
Ferengi? Okay. The Ferengi sold the information. Have the Orion done anything with this so far?
The Orion.
Like, I assumed something, so I was able to trace it back to them. But
the Orion have played it mostly close to the chest, except for one particular place, and that is sort of reports of a stealth observation mission just outside of Tholian space, which Tholians don't really take kindly to things like that.
That's funny. They reported us. They reported Tholian missions, but not our intervention in the Orion crime syndicate.
No, because they can still use that. That's really what that might be, is ammo in the chamber for later.
Okay. I am going to... Funnily enough, before I even, compile this to send it to, Jaloran, I'm gonna, shoot Kavai, a WhatsApp message, basically.
Okay.
Just hey, thought you should know, babe.
I think she'll be like,
Oi,
huh?
chica,
Oh,
I thought you should know. I'm gonna be surprised.
Oh shit!
Not only because you are not only because of your personal interactions with the Orion Syndicate, but you are the other you and Lauren are the other two tech savvy people. So
yeah, I've definitely been trying to poison the data that got leaked and stuff. That's the majority of what Kavai's been up to since the breach.
Kavai, where you're probably working is some of the damaged monitors and pad screens have been kind of converted into just tablets. So you have this half sphere hub of just screens, and you're just going from one to the other, and it is
it's more chaotic than even their normal chaos.
Yeah.
And the thing is, while Clary is perfectly decent at most software-related endeavors she puts her mind to, while she's perfectly capable of space Googling whatever question she has about, XY routine, it's not her real passion, so her goal right now is basically to find the point where she can, actually get names out of it. She's trying to find the bottleneck, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And these two locations seem like the best points. So she's trying to figure out exactly, well, ideally she'd be able to find out our anonymous hacker, but she's trying to figure out who the Ferengi and then the Orion Syndicate think would be interested in this information, because that could lead back to, maybe they know shit we don't. She's trying to gather clues through who is interested in this information on us. Anybody who's looking for information on the Madrid race specifically.
Would I
presumably have a reason to be looking for Madrid?
Would I happen to know anyone that would fit that bill?
And that's exactly because I also have black some darker connections.
I feel like we probably end up figuring out we have someone in common, and we're like, wait a second, how do you know them?
We know them from I know them from the weapons sphere, and you know them from something
absolutely,
completely different.
Probably drugs. Definitely party shit.
You probably wouldn't know specifically right aways where certain aspects of that are, but there is eventually. I'm not gonna make you roll for it because you are just with so many screens and so much free time sort of on your hand. You're just gonna end up finding it anyways. There is a sort of a collection hub of illegal data that can be stored and for later use. And the only way you know this is because the Orion Syndicate isn't that far away from certain aspects of space, like where the Klingon Empire is, or more aggressive
sticky
cousins
webs
of the Cation race are.
Okay.
The Kazinti?
Yeah. Given the preparations for telepathy and stuff like that, it is a risk to have any type of information there that they can just kind of absorb and then spit out like deal brokers, basically.
Fascinating. I will shoot a message back and say, already on it. Probably slide over a few files that I have open already. Get on the same page. Would probably, after a half hour of digging around on my own, probably call you in to come take a look, actually.
Yeah, Claire will flounce in 5 minutes late with the Starbucks. Actually, no, we're in Spain. She just has espresso. We have an actual coffee bar, don't we?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I asked this
With
question.
The good stuff.
I asked this question while I was building it. I asked Lynn that question. It's like, so, replicator or actual thing? And Lynn's like, the answer's obvious, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, my bad, stupid
the guy just
question.
Sighs and is just like, oh, that smells so good. I wish I liked it.
I was thinking about picking you up one, but the only thing I could think was I don't know, caramel macchiato. You seem like a incredibly sweet drink type of person.
I do enjoy sweets, but unfortunately, coffee does not seem to agree with me.
That's why I only drink frappuccinos.
How does chocolate work for you? Are you good with chocolate?
Good question. Let's ask the dice.
Because am I tripping or is that a Vulcan thing?
I don't know.
I'm sorry,
player, don't know.
Am I lactose intolerant?
Dice are
Or
pretty inconclusive too. So I don't think she's actually tried that much of a wide range.
Yeah, different flavorings, all that, but actually, Kvi, something that you and Dr. Atherton get to notice is a message comes through to all these screens, not outwards, but inbox.
Simultaneously?
Yeah, as you're kind of tracking stuff down, a message comes in as well.
Oh, piss.
Uh-oh. What's it say?
I will definitely lean towards the closest one.
The message, simply reads, "We've had dealings before. Let's make one now."
Goodbye. I need you to repeat after me. Type in, "Would you like to play a game?"
In all caps. Red letters.
Sorry, I muted. My mistake. I will raise an eyebrow just like quizzically, but like oblige. I'll send a reply back and be like, "Hey, okay."
I mean,
Sure.
okay. First, can we check real quick to see if there's audio so we can talk?
Not presently. You would have to open up communication from your end, because from what you can determine, they can't open audio from their end.
Okay, I meant I wanted to
Gotcha.
make sure I could talk to Kavai out loud without
I see. Yeah, you're fine on that end.
Oh yeah,
Clarice is going to say with absolute
up on our end.
Clarice is going to say with absolute confidence, "You can't give these people an inch, Kavai."
Understood. And I'll work on securing things up and give them our reply.
Okay. What type of reply do you think you give them?
I do word for word what was requested of me.
Then a message does come back through. And now you're definitely telling that they are like recording, like speaking, and then the text is appearing for them, because the first words that come up are "what the fuck," but
Nice.
but then it follows with "I know about the syndicate."
It's just like in like lowercase. It's just like, "Bitch, you're not special."
Still
Okay.
there, I see. Neutral ground?
Do I know like roughly their location?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Prior?
Like, what can we get from? Because they can't access our audio, but they can access our computer. What can we access of theirs?
Oh, they're not hiding it. They're in, like, a little cafe, like 4 blocks down the street.
Oh, okay. Yeah, super local. Okay. Yeah, that's no trouble then.
Hey, Kavai.
Yes.
Can you keep them talking? I want
Always.
to ask Mary if she can go check that out.
I would open up like probably like a side channel that I've had with this person that's like just talking about like latest episodes of bullshit.
Okay.
Unless Mary's on the clock, in which case I'd ask an official channel. But if she's at home,
Then trying to like also arrange like our meeting time.
Well, I mean, she is technically at home because she wanted an off day, and that got thoroughly fucked with, so she is at home.
Hey, babe.
There is
You've been checking out this cafe.
There is, when you say that, there is literally like a response in the message that just like in like all lowercase with just ... Please don't do this to me.
I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important. I mean, she'll explain the situation in hopes of persuading.
Can I like be kind of like nosy and like just peek over?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Clary she plays tough, but she is all caps like begging her wife to please go check out this cafe, please.
Kavai has that like expression on their face where it's just like not jealousy, but like that I love kind of like face.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, oh.
There is a response that says that more or less reads, "Fine, but you're sacrificing one of your vacation days."
It's yours. You can have 2.
There's no like total affirmation other than I know.
But I'll also send, she's presumably looking for somebody attached to it, using presumably somebody who's interacting with somebody online. So unless they also have a brain computer like me, they probably have like a computer or something.
It takes several, like 10-15 minutes or so. But you get
15 minutes of Caraballo doing her best.
I would say after 7 minutes, the responses stop. But you do get a sort of message delivered by Miri, and she does have like sort of a 3D image hologram that you can pull up. And it is a particular young Orion woman who you have had previous dealings with.
Hello there.
And Kabai's right next to me.
Heard my name, like what?
Well, unless you have something you need to do first, I'll be compiling this report to send to Jaloran. Do I need to wait?
Kai just shrugs. Everything's good on my end. Free whenever you are. Do you mind if I ask you a personal question?
Shoot.
Where did you and your spouse meet?
On the job?
Kai nods. Understanding that probably broached a little too much of a personal
She doesn't look like she minds the question. She looks more like she just ran into an NDA.
Oh. Fair.
But yeah, I hope Jaloran is ready for a chaotic mission report. He is. Clary was not thinking about what's the word? Regulations.
Yeah.
Are you sending a request that can we go to this cafe and talk to this person or something?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I want to go check it out. Yeah, she's basically sending Jaloran an update, and then at the end it's like, hey, so this is what we got. Mind if we go check it out? I would like to, tell my boss first in case I get shot while I'm there.
The only response you get back is the only response you get back is make sure Mary's nearby.
Do I get like an on-duty security officer? I would like to let her, nap.
And Jaloran sends a name.
Nice.
Yeah.
Grab this person on your way out, or send them ahead to plant them out of sight.
I was secretly hoping it would be Alec, but she doesn't know the drama. She doesn't know the tea.
I mean, technically, Alec is free. He's doing work that doesn't actually need doing. He's doing it mostly to make himself feel better.
It's busy work.
Yeah. It's I don't want to think about my actual problems work.
I see. You're stalking.
Oh god, that hits
Ouch.
real.
Yeah. Ow.
So, theoretically, Alec is free to be able to go, so...
I mean, if you want to join the scene, you can.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Jaloran sends a name and then like option B, Alec. Take your pick.
I will absolutely take the chance to razz our favorite security officer.
Yeah. In that sort of crazy thing, we're gonna pull back to the sort of the message you got was kind of interrupting this sort of tense moment, commanders. So now that you've had a little time to think on it,
She just like in the office when they get the message, takes her a second, but she quirks an eyebrow at what Atherton has written, and then she sends off the options. But she has a little bit of an inkling that she knows which officer is going to be going, based on the conversation she had with Alec. But she puts that down and she sits back and looks over at Tate. What do you think about a field trip?
Where are we going?
Trill.
Now? We have a lot of
As soon
stuff.
as it can be feasibly arranged in the very, very near future.
That would probably help me with my memory issues.
Which is why I bring it up.
To go. I haven't been in Trill since I was like 10.
I think for us to get anywhere with what's going on, we should take a visit to the symbiont poles.
I've never actually been there. At least I don't think I have.
We'll find out.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's not
But
wrong.
I think the sooner the better, though.
I'm starting to agree with that.
Ugh, poor Tate.
She sits up and starts making the arrangements.
mm-hmm. Obviously you get a video like message response from the assistant director, because that's something that he's going to take notice of pretty much immediately. Vacation already? Have I scared everyone off that much?
Personally, I think I'm overdue.
You
And then she
know?
brings up a little chart of like how much vacation time she has not taken yet.
It's probably like none. Jesus.
In some of the like background, he kind of pulls out from a drawer like 20 small like latinum bars. You can give it you can tell the former director she owes me more of that. Sir? It's a bet. Just do it, please. You are massively overdue, Commander. Despite all your previous department heads, commanding officers, I believe one of them begged you to take vacation time.
It begged with a 3-page essay.
Yeah, and somehow that didn't work. I encourage it. And given everything that's happened, I think it's healthy if your team considers the same thing.
I'll let them know.
Within reason, of course. I will have
Of course.
to be a little bit of a downer and say I would prefer they stay within the Alpha Quadrant.
Still gives them plenty of options.
Yeah, it does. Well, glad to see that. I will continue being... You can hear, like, computer alerts going off, and you can just watch this man feel like he's slowly about to wither and die, because you know these are just, like, action reports and debriefs and stuff that he's getting. Well,
I leave everything in your capable hands, sir.
Yeah, I hope to hear from you again, and if you don't, I'm dead. And he clicks it off.
She looks over at Tate. Well, that's one hurdle taken care of.
That's good.
Do we get notified that we've got upcoming shore leave?
Not yet.
Yes. Oh, eventually.
It will have to be approved by the assistant director. It's gonna take him a moment to get that approval to go through.
No rush, but I think Kavai wants to try and get tickets for like some sort of amusement park or something that's hard to get.
For right now, like she focused on her and Tate, and then she'll send a message out to the others like, hey, take advantage of this, please.
Yeah.
Nice.
Lieutenant Loris, you have been diving through your medical supplies and things like that, and Vivian McCoy, your now assistant, has been a tremendous help. She's incredibly organized, and is a very friendly person, much more easier to be around than her predecessor. The movements of all the files, you've taken the time to move them into a more distant and locked off file. And actually what has been done at the request, and whether you think this is a good idea or not, Lieutenant, this is your decision. Copying down every person's medical personnel file and then full on wiping it from the database and just sticking to like hard paper copy.
Wait, does it mean that she had to like rewrite everything on paper?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, she's not in the best mood. It's been extremely tough, kind of the reason why she hasn't been in action much, and she's not really informed about everything that's going on. Considering that it's, how do I say it, people are worried about their personal information being leaked as about their medical information being leaked, because nobody wants people to know that you have, like, I don't know, hemorrhoids or some shit. So yeah, she has to deal with this, writing down everything on paper and like sorting it out. Thank God she has an assistant now. But also with people coming in and like sheepishly asking, "Hey, do you know if people would ever find out that I don't know, I still have a broken toe or some shit." So
you
yeah,
do have
that's
a couple of like Madrid like field agents that come in and ask like somewhat embarrassing questions, and Vivian McCoy is a very friendly person. Unless she's being interrupted, then she definitely takes on her name.
Yeah, it's after like a while of them working. At first, it started like, okay, yeah, we have to do this. I guess that's fine. It's tough, but we can handle this. We are hardworking people, yeah. But now, if you walk in uh, their workplace incorrectly, you might just face two actual demons, like ready to kill.
Yeah, it is kind of
So
like that.
yeah.
Because whereas at first you're like, I've got this. We're totally fine. You are now, you're convinced you could be giving yourself like carpal tunnel or something with all this writing that you've been doing.
Yeah, that's
And finally,
they're not having fun.
like your assistant sets down the pen, hand shaking. I think we should be done for a little bit, ma'am. I think I can't keep staring at this. We still have to get it done within the next 2 days, but we've done 38 of them. We've done 38, and we only have 26 more to go.
Yeah, cool. Just a little bit more than a half, I guess. Oh, I'm having visual hallucinations at this point, and I'm blocking an eye. Oh, this is complete mess.
So you're saying you're suffering what could be called an inky mirage?
Oh, don't give my condition a name. I'm too far gone to try and understand what's going on right now. But we are pretty close. It's
Yeah.
You get what is probably like the millionth message from Kavai being like, "Did you take care of that thing yet? Please."
Mira looks at her phone and she's like, oh, she like clenches it. You can see like veins on her like arm, and then she just very slowly puts it onto the table. Like, oops, shit. I'm so sorry. Give me a second, please.
Lieutenant, if you want, I can handle that portion.
So sorry for interruption. Anyway, but yeah, she kind of like slowly, very slowly puts the phone onto her desk, and one can even see that there is like a small crack on the case of her phone. Yeah, she's like absolutely. She kind of broke a couple of pens at this point, so not the funnest of times right now.
Oh no.
Yeah, honestly, it's really nice that she has an assistant because that's kind of moral support. They can throw, how do I say it, complaints at each other, you know, just like trashing people in their own situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like back rooms, like retail shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's really tough. Honestly, if any of team right now comes in and tries to complain, she's probably gonna break something.
Oh no.
They've most of the Madrid field office has finally, like, word travels fast enough around this place to where the first idiots to make this mistake have spread like wildfire to not make that mistake.
Give you a wide berth.
But
Yeah.
as you've kind of done and gone through that,
I am so sorry. I have to imagine that probably not on this specific day, but like probably just after like everything got shored up, Alec definitely walked into Med Baby and just being like, Lieutenant Loris, I just wanted to see if you could sign off on. Oh, you are very upset. I'll come back later. And then just immediately turns around and just leaves.
Nope.
That's like she sends him a chocolate bar later. Like,
Aww.
you are just she can appreciate a person who understands her plight.
Spanish chocolate, that's just great. So, but speaking of which, the other group that has more or less sent a message that said, "Hey, we're gonna go do this thing. We're just letting you know. We're not really asking permission. We're doing it anyways. But you eventually do get to this small little cafe. It's got this nice sort of outdoor seating. There is a Hawaiian woman that's about Kavai's age, maybe maybe just a couple years older. Mission prevalent to the end of last season, but how she made it here relatively undetected is impressive. She seems to just be enjoying coffee right now.
Mira walks over. Pardon, I'm not late, am I?
So you did go with that group then, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, there anything that can get her out of that fucking med bay is
honestly
valid.
Honestly, that was probably like as soon as Alec heard about it, he was like, you know who could probably stand to get out and about?
I'm
valid. I seriously
with the doctor.
He's like Mira is strangled the guy yesterday, so
I'll just say, like, literally, I think the thing that Alex says to her to like get her out is like, it's unlikely, but there is a non-0% chance that punching people will be involved.
You know what? Yes, absolutely correct. Just so you know, the eye that's not a cyber guy is bloodshot. Like, it's no good. Continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Claire will step forward to join Mira, and I want to look over the array and see what kind of state she's in. Like, does she look like, is she still, like, doing well? Like, I don't.
She looks comfortable.
Clary at least hasn't been keeping up with her, so she doesn't know, if she's still in the same situation as she was.
Comfortable, relaxed, at ease.
Imagine that. Wait, so she over to Mira, correct?
She's just sitting down at the cafe right now.
Oh.
And she had messaged Kavai, and, well, she doesn't know if it was presumably just Kavai or Kavai and Clary's. It was Kavai's computers.
Also, real quick, I just want to, because I'm sure this is something we would have talked about on the way over. How are we handling this in terms of, like, is this an everybody is present situation, or is this a Alec fades into the background and watches?
Honestly, I'm of two minds here. Either I was originally going to ask Alec and Mira to hang back and, like, act like they're just here to, obviously, wait. Shit. The Orion lady's seen Mira, hasn't she?
They would have all of our information anyway, due to the leak.
They do.
So
yeah, but I mean, she's not necessarily trying to be subtle about it, though. She just doesn't want them to be obviously a part of the conversation, if that makes sense. Like they are more meant to be not a threat, but like she is very much all in Madrid,
Then I could very much see a situation where, like, we all walk in together, but, like, Alec and Mira go and, like, sit at a different table and, like, just enjoying drinks, but very obviously making ourselves like we're present, just don't try anything kind of thing.
Yeah, because this is kind of like
sense.
And obviously I know that Kavai has their own opinions on things, but given Clary's opinion towards Kavai, Clary is going to be doing her part too. She thinks that Kavai has a place in the Syndicate in the future. She doesn't know what Kavai's opinions are, but she thinks that Kavai has a place in the Syndicate in the future if she doesn't stick with Starfleet. So she is doing her best to set Kavai up for that future in the back of her mind.
Fascinating. All right.
So
well,
she's
for
not
my
necessarily
part-
like trying to take charge. She's trying to like see if Kavai is willing to take charge, but if she's not, then she's willing to take point.
I think for my part, Kavai studiously ignores everybody until the moment she has, like, I don't know, like an Italian soda or like whatever the equivalent would be, like in her hand. And then she's like back in and just trying to get the vibe of the room kind of thing.
I mean, most people are totally unaware as to what's happening.
Fair and valid. They fade into the background. They're NPCs. They don't matter. And she thinks that literally.
Wow. Okay.
One thing that's a problem with Mira is that she's like the opposite of subtle, because that's
the point, though.
Masculine woman sitting there like
I posted in the chat, but I might as well say it out loud. Like this is very much like a mob thought process in Clary's behalf.
Yeah.
Like you are not meant to be subtle. You are meant to be the muscle in the background,
that.
obviously threatening, and the person who is throwing Orion syndicate members around left and right.
Our job is like Alex and Mira's job right now is to be seen. Our job is to be make ourselves obvious.
It's going to be very easy considering the dark aura that's happening around Mira.
For that matter, actually.
Just people do not want to go around her. Like, this is a person, she looks at you and you're like...
Doom personified.
Absolutely, yes.
She's really just looking at medical reports, but you don't know that.
For that matter, could I actually make a show of this and have called in one or both of the guys that I helped liberate?
Yes!
I'm so sorry.
These are boys!
I'm so sorry if we're talking demonstration.
Yeah, you actually could. Because they are back
I'm so
here.
sorry if we're talking... Oh, fuck. Sorry.
Yeah, I would have sent a message being like, I've got work for you today. Look pretty for me.
They do.
Please tell me it was other message.
They're definitely dressed more civilian. They've been enjoying a lifestyle where it's not constantly threatened, but they do it in such a way where they end up kind of sitting like all the rest of the people, like taking up areas and very casually, like any passerbys, pedestrians, they don't know what's going on, but obviously this is more of that type of just making it very clear that it's like you are one person in this instance. However, the Orion, she doesn't seem that upset or concerned. Kind of takes notice of whomever wants to sit across from her and gestures to the chair, which she uses her boot to kind of slide it outwards.
I will just whatever like the Orion equivalent of like when you greet someone by kissing them on the cheek would be like, but very still distant, would be just like very informal, very like I'm not worried about this at all, like super the air of like you're my friend, this is awesome. It's not often we get to like do business. Hi,
We're just besties. We haven't seen each other in like a year.
Exactly.
I'm just getting a little finger wave and sit down.
The moment you sit down and then her relaxed state kind of, she sits up a little bit more straight. So, let's discuss your leak. And that is where we're going to take our break. So,
Yay.
we will take a 5
this
to
is so much
10
fun.
minute break here as,
Good timing.
you know, stretch, hydrate, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
We will be right back, presumably at the time we said, because apparently we're good at that part, just not the starting on time thing. But
Don't jinx us.
We will see you in just a bit. Welcome back. I lied. So, I was given warning that me mentioning it could speak our break streak and
Good job.
existence.
Great job.
Okay, all right, calm down. But as we come back into this scene, across from Kawai and everyone else is... Okay, first of all, Vance, not technology rebelling against me. This was my own fault. I can't even blame technology. But anyways,
Shame.
Same here. I'm
To be
gonna
fair,
have
though, we
to
also have
kind of
restarting.
kind of get lost for a little bit. My Discord decided that it doesn't want to load, so I'm gonna have to reload my computer.
sounds good. Anyways,
So sorry, guys. I'm gonna be back in 5 minutes.
You're
all good.
fine.
But sitting across from this individual, Kawai, she is overly relaxed, though is definitely sitting up more straight. It's been a few months.
A nod. How have you been?
Busy. And I came across something interesting a couple days ago.
I can imagine.
Oh, yes. It's potentially expensive and incredibly valuable to interested parties.
Your definition of expensive and my definition have always differed.
True. So, how about abandoning the concept of Starfleet or the Syndicate? We could make a trade.
I sit up. Well, that I'm always more interested in.
Now, I understand that part of the leak went elsewhere, but the one that I hold, from what I understand, given the size of your operation, more than likely, I probably have about 70 to 80% of the leaked files.
Can I get like any sort of sense on if that's an accurate figure?
I mean, given just how much of it was leaked to the press, I doubt it. Since the Ferengi were the only ones giving it to.
Yeah, it's not the most accurate. She's probably raising it by 25-ish.
Gotcha. Okay. Still, combined math probably.
She's got about half.
Kind of sucks, though. Like, objectively.
And Clary doesn't say anything, but the bullshit does read across her face.
All right. What are you after?
Nothing too expensive on your end, I would hope. I'll hand over everything I have, and I'll even allow members of Starfleet intelligence to... What the fuck? Hold on.
Meh.
No, don't do this.
Oh no! The gremlins are spreading!
Oh god. Nope, it seems like we're okay.
Oh no!
Hold on.
Oh, there
Yeah,
goes
right,
Twitch.
Oh!
What the hell just happened there?
Oh shit.
This is
Well, at
this
least
is
it's
fun.
not just me dealing with stuff disconnecting, reconnecting. That was my last
No,
stream that I
everyone.
did.
Huh, that was
It's
different.
Oh, universal problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Twitch is back.
Yes.
wow.
We across the ocean also have this fucking problem.
Wow,
Oh,
Streams
okay.
loaded.
So that must have been on Twitch's end.
Yep. That last this last hour wants to be problematic, I guess.
Wow.
I don't know, for me
Alright.
it's both Discord and Twitch, so
Yep.
Well, it's gonna be
They're
fun to
both switching
stitch
out.
together.
Luckily, I have it recording in such a way where it should just all be together.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been trying to
Oh
get
yeah,
mine to
because
do
we don't
that.
save
but-
VODs on Twitch, do we? So it doesn't matter that
No.
that was split.
Oh, true.
But right, continuing.
Sorry about that, folks.
Yeah, it happens.
Refresh if you haven't. Well, I guess I wouldn't be able to tell that. Hang on.
Wow, that's the first time that's ever happened. But given everything that's happened, she is definitely leaning towards, as she is talking about, well, just simple, nothing costly. Starfleet intelligence can check it for verification, but I could hand all manner of your potential leak back to you under a simple condition that your Starfleet stays clear out of my way.
How much of a bead do I have on what their primary business would be, if any?
One that is kind of really illegal right now. Any sort of black market dealings with Ketracel White.
Ah,
Which that's kind of its own two-edged sword. 'Cause
yeah.
you know for a fact, like, you can get all this back. Every past dealing you've kind of had with her, she has no reason to really be lying. She's a syndicate member, but she's an honest businesswoman when it comes to that.
Gotcha.
But on the flip side, you're basically ensuring, if you get this back, any operation that's been tailing this kind of trade op will just disappear into the wind.
Okay. That is definitely an area that Kavai would not feel comfortable herself meddling with. Okay. I think I would, like... Okay, I know how I'm gonna phrase this. I think we can definitely come to some sort of arrangement there. I would have to, unfortunately, clear things with superiors. She gives, like, an eye roll, like, as if, like, the thought disgusts her. Although, like, anyone who knows her would know that, like, that's bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Well, if that's what you have to do to get around certain red tape, then I strongly suggest it, though do keep in mind I will keep a death grip on what I possess then, until such things are cleared.
It won't take long.
Long enough for me to enjoy perhaps another cup of coffee then.
Very fair. And I'll pull up a pad and excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. Start just probably sending a couple messages to Jaloran. But
Are they? I want to know the composition of these messages. Are they like panicked? Are they like panicked? Or are they like official?
More official. She's at this point. Kvi is not too concerned or worried. It's just. I think you would get the sense specifically that she's aware that this is above her personal pay grade, and I think you might get the sense that like it's just not an area she's comfortable in. Like there's the fact that she's comfortable around like dealing with like party drugs, that's like fine, but like it's more that this is like they found a line that she's not willing to cross, because especially with Catch Yourself White, it's people's livelihoods, like it's people's like literal life on the line with that stuff. So
Clary will motion
and
that
it's
if you
way more complicated.
Clary will also motion that if you want to like go sit with the other boys, then she can like
yeah, actually while I'm waiting on a response, I'll leave you with my associate here. Also, I want a refill of this. Anybody else want anything?
I'm fine. I'm not even done with this. With my macchiato yet.
Kvi goes through soda like I do.
For my own clarification, just because I think this is what we're basically talking about right now is essentially renegotiating the whole thing that ended our situation out in Orion's base. Is that basically what this is?
This is the syndicate taking the data breach and attempting to use it to renegotiate the deal. Yes.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of what I assumed. Okay, cool. Alec was very distracted early on, like present but distracted, and now he is laser focused and looking.
That's partial. That's kind of why, because like Clary is staying with the Orion lady to make sure that she has somebody to chat with lightly about. I mean, Leslie Clary's probably talking about weapons, so it's not exactly dinner table conversation. But it is a light topic to keep her on track while the rest of you go what the fuck.
Yeah, I was very like stone-faced during all of this.
I would send Alec like pretty much like everything I know on this person and what the deal is and where we're at, try to catch him up to speed. And you would get like the slightly panicked of like, oh, I'm in over my head now again, like fuck. But keeping Jaloran posted as well.
Is there any way to find out? I mean, this probably is a question that has probably already been asked. But is there any way to find out exactly what information she has her hands on?
About 50. Sorry.
She has about 50% of like the
everything
mission files that were previously considered like intelligence classified. Some of which are like, from what you can kind of assume, she doesn't have all of them, but she probably has a couple of like level 9 missions that are also free in the wind right now.
She also presumably has the bulk of the upper management medical files, since those haven't been released to the press yet, and unless the Ferengi decide to hold on to that for morals.
I would feel like, at least as far as the Ferengi are concerned, that's a more smooth business transaction with less, like, shady fucking shit going on. But that's just my assumption. Probably from Kvi's point of view as well. I think she's got more of a better standing with any contacts on that end, but...
Clary's assumption is because she didn't find our medical files in various, like, fucking you know, like those websites where you find out if you've been hacked by like a large
Mhm.
company or something like that. She figures that because their medical files weren't like bought by random companies online, they probably weren't sold by the Ferengi. So the Orion probably have them. If either of them have them. But the medical files aren't the most important thing. The most important thing is all the illegal shit we've been doing on our mission. So
makes sense.
or sorry, all the shady stuff we've been doing. I don't know exactly how illegal Jaloran lets us get.
I think we're on a pretty tight leash.
No, I was like, nobody has still found the body.
Wait, what?
What?
We don't talk about that, Mira.
What did I miss?
Nothing. Nothing. Bunch of players trolling. That's what's happening.
It's like Mira loudly chugging her fucking drink, like, sure. I mean, I guess.
But for you, Commander, you'll get that like message via pad. Tate, you'll also be privy to it because you're in the same room. Here's what I will say for the two of you. You technically do have the authority to clear this or to not clear this, but it is advised that this goes to a higher rank. The only problem with that is that comes with the level of bureaucracy, and that depends if you want to deal with that right now.
Yeah, I didn't.
Fucking yes, bureaucracy.
On top of that, should you clear this, you and Tate are already kind of on that, like, under the scope right now, going forwards, and this will just add to that pile.
Do you want? So Tate will be like, "Do you want to add more scrutiny to us? Because if we clear this, that's gonna happen."
Wait, we need more security?
Scrutiny.
I would just
Jaloran.
I would just send a picture of like a goat in our group chat. Of just like, yeah, I don't mind this if you guys need to not have it on you guys. Just the implication there.
Mira sends like a gif of a person shrugging. It's like, I couldn't care either way. Like,
Actually, scratch that. She probably sends a sheep not knowing the difference between the animals.
Oh, that's cute.
That's way funnier.
Oh no, it's really adorable.
And then she has to clarify, is it not a goat?
Mira's like, oh, it isn't. But it's okay.
I love this show.
Iris phone is ringing, and she's just like, "Oh, it's fine. I'll just keep talking about this bazooka that I've been designing."
Mira's like, the goat is the one with the straight horns, honey.
Oh, shit.
Alright, commanders, so what is your decision on this?
Jaloran is not terribly keen on increased scrutiny on their decisions. There's enough going on right now, particularly with red tape getting blasted through. She's of the mind that she's going to pass it up with the recommendation of a renegotiate.
Tate's in agreement.
Okay. That you probably immediately will get, like, sending that through, and finally a very tired, assistant director will pick up. This is going to be a regular thing, Commander, isn't it?
Probably so, sir.
Right. Well, I figure, in terms of bureaucracy, I figure the person most efficient for renegotiating the deal, seeing as she caused this mess in the first place. Off the record, by the ways. I'm gonna give Admiral Mahil a chance to fix her screw up.
Is that wise, sir?
No, but she's gonna have to learn to get along with others at some point or another.
Kate being fully in the background, invisible. Kate just not reacting to it at all.
She is a bit past due for that lesson.
Yeah, she is. And the recommendation for a little bit of command adjustment in terms of how she runs things did not come from me. That was a collective decision by the quorum of fleet admirals. So, Admiral Jellicoe has voiced his frustrations a few too many times, and he can no longer tolerate it.
It's good to know you're alone.
Well, I believe her diplomatic mission should be done at this point, so I'll have her summoned back to the Sol system. You can let her
something else that she'll have to get used to.
Yeah. She could, you can let our guests know that there will be diplomatic quarters set up on Earth Starbase. With the expectation that she will still have at least mid-level security team tailing her at all times.
I will pass that along, sir.
Hey, before I hang up, is there any chance that you would ever be interested in just taking a much more director-based role, just for the paperwork alone?
Not a chance.
I had to try.
Give me about a decade.
The feed will cut out.
Jaloran just kind of mutters and is like, maybe when I'm 102. But no sooner.
Oh, I love all of this.
I'm sorry, but you gotta wait until I fucking retire.
She quickly composes a brief message for Kavai. And like it just very clear cut. This is the parameters, and it's like a take it or leave it kind of deal. If she wants to renegotiate, this is how it's going to be.
Do I have like a sense of how that's going to be taken?
Yeah.
It's like
Mad.
like if she wants any chance to renegotiate, then this is the path that's open.
She is receptive to it. She is not happy about the way it is received, if that makes sense.
May I also ask a question?
Yeah.
That's more Claire's curiosity than anything else, admittedly. How much is she picking up on what I'm putting down? Like, Claire's just, like, launching into, like, theoretical engineering discussion. She's trying to tell how smart this lady is, or if she has a background in can she tell if that's because she has a pre-existing background in the subject, or just she's picking it up surprisingly fast?
Surprisingly
because
fast,
if she figures
prodigy level.
Okay, then she's just gonna keep she's just gonna keep escalating. See how far before until she loses her. That is what she's doing while the rest of them are planning.
Can I return to this and like how much of a sense like on a scale of like 1 to 10, how much does the good doctor remind me of one of my parents?
8.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like
oh boy.
Keep
it together, goodbye.
Who am I working with? Oh, it's a good thing we're not in contact, because this would have been a very oh man, my dad would love to meet you. Okay.
I was too busy blowing up his car.
I love that shit. It's so good. Okay. Girl, you are not gonna like this.
I didn't expect to, realistically.
At least as far as stuff goes on my end, I know I can sweeten the pot with, like, my contacts over on, oh, God, you left the fandom, didn't you? Okay, whatever. Okay, that aside, okay. Yeah, here's what we can do, and I will, like, push, like, the pad forward with, like, our, like, stipulations. But seriously, I can also get you season 6.
Maybe. But not very pleased with this development. Just like the rest of you aren't pleased with how I've put my stipulations forward. And do we know what we call that?
An impasse.
A successful negotiation. Neither one of us is happy. Well then, I believe I have some stipulations for staying on Sol for the time being. Though I don't expect to encounter your team any further than I already have during these talks with an...
Devi gets like a very like mock hurt looking expression. It's just like, what, no movie night?
She doesn't respond to that and looks through to...
We have had too many arguments.
Looking through...
There are friends that you watch shows with, and there are friends you do not.
Then they're like looking through. Admiral Mahil. Oh, this is gonna be delightful.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
She sets it and sets down the coffee, and respectively, for these shop owners, does kind of like pay with whatever type of like credit system is needed for it. Even manages to leave a tip.
I'll say this. I think Alec has, during the course of all of this, has gone from Stony to Stormy. And Alec will stand up and say, well, now that we've established that nobody's shooting each other here, I'm going to head back to the office. I can arrange for a security team to escort you to the starbase.
How incredibly thoughtful. I'd love that.
Fantastic. And then Alec, without saying another word, just immediately like comm badge and like basically summons like security team to as an escort and leaves without saying anything to anybody else.
I kind of like look between like the group and like back toward the door.
Doom personified rubbed off on Alec.
Mira with her milkshake half done, like, oh, we're leaving already?
Hold that
Please.
thought. I'll be right back, and I will follow after.
I'll take over playing gracious host.
Okay.
My break.
Catch up with Alec. Not quite like, dude, what the fuck, but like more like you'll get like a wafting of like very gentle concern.
Yeah, Alec has not gone very far. He stormed out of the cafe, but has gone, and basically like the first bench that he finds is immediately like sat down and is just sort of like sitting there, like just sort of knitting fingers together and just sort of like wringing hands a little bit. Sort of look up as you approach. Say, sorry, I needed air.
That's fair. I know I'm not normally the most observant or people-y person, but that felt like they kind of scratched the back of their head. A little out of character for you.
Alex shakes his head and says, Kavai, what the hell did we even do out there?
Their face like definitely falls, and they're sheepish.
We went out there. We were ordered to go out and destabilize a foreign government. Is that the kind of thing that Starfleet does now? And then we found a way of playing it like Starfleet, getting out of an impossible situation, and now we're backing down on that too?
You get like the pure wave of like guilt. I kind of, this is my fault. I'm just...
No, it isn't. It really isn't. It's not any of our faults. Kavai, there's something broken in Starfleet.
I think at that, they, for like the first time in a very long time, make eye contact with you, and this is something you would know is like not something she usually does. It's not really what I thought it was either. I mean, sure, I built it up a lot, and it's a million times better than I ever thought it would be, but I don't know. I guess there's good propaganda, bad propaganda type shit everywhere, but I agree. But what's really going on for you?
Alec will be silent for a moment and then just shake his head and say, I was never entirely sure that I wanted to be in Starfleet. It's probably one of the reasons that I'm still a lieutenant this long after graduating. I didn't have a clear path in front of me, and I wasn't even sure I wanted one. And then I came here and met the commander, and she encouraged me in a way that I think other commanding officers that I had didn't know what to do with me and my lack of self-motivation. Jaloran did, and I learned a lot here. And one of the things that I learned is that I care a lot more about Starfleet than I thought. But I care about a Starfleet. Yeah. But I care about a Starfleet that I'm afraid doesn't exist anymore. I was made...
sit with that for a sec. And
I don't think there's anything that can be done from here. I was made an offer. Someplace where I don't know if I can make a difference there. At least not in terms of Starfleet as a whole. But I think it could put me in a better position of doing something. All I know is that while Starfleet had us out doing whatever the hell we were doing out there, somebody came in while we were focused on something we should never have been doing in the first place. They set the commander up for an assassination, and someone breached our systems while we were distracted. And now we're in this situation. I can't let that be what Starfleet is. There are going to be people out there who will try to justify what they had us doing out there by saying that the ends justify the means. It's all about protecting Starfleet. Well, how protected is Starfleet now?
Hey. Kavai will, hold out her hand to you.
Alec will just sort of very slowly just reach out and take it.
The moment your fingertips touch, and she will clasp her other hand over top of yours. And any sense of calm that I've got, I will put your way. But you also get an immediate, flash and an image of the way that Kavai sees you. You've got this. And the way that I see you is someone who is so brave. Someone who I trust with my life. And the way that we talk about Starfleet isn't the way that it is. But I know that you can help make it back toward that ideal. Because I believe in you.
I think Alec's just going to sit with that for a second and just sort of look directly into Kavai's eyes, like he's looking for something, and then just sort of nods and says, "Thank you."
It'll be okay.
There haven't
Because
been a lot
it
of
has
people.
to be.
Yeah. I think Alec will just give a sort of he's definitely calmer now. He's just gonna give Kavai's hand just another little squeeze and then let go.
She'll pull back and again, kind of looking away and back down and just very yellow blushy and just okay. Kind of rubs her hand.
Okay. I don't want to leave here. Madrid office and all of you.
Wherever you go, we're gonna be with you.
You know what? I trust you too, and I believe in you. You've come a long way since when we first met. And I'm not just talking about your skills, but just everything.
It's been a lot. I never thought I would even be willing to entertain talking about any syndicate stuff, especially not openly. I don't like this. I especially don't like what my parents do. But the fact that we know that it's a problem means something. And if Starfleet doesn't fully see it anymore, we have to remind them. I think you should take that position. You'd be good at it. We'll be okay. You'll be okay.
Yeah. I know you will. All of you.
But I make sure like we get like some sort of like movie thread going again, because like it's not going to be the same, you know?
Yeah.
But I have plenty of distance friends. And I'll be proud to add you to that list.
Alec just smiles and just nods and says, likewise.
Alright. Let's get back in there. I'm really worried about the doctor. She fucking terrifies me.
Oh, yeah. I might have told her there was a small chance that punching would happen, and yeah. Probably a good idea to get in there and yeah.
Yeah, but like and then we like carry on this like little conversation as we head back in.
As the door to this sort of cafe that leads to the outside patio area shuts, we'll fade away from the door and fade into Jaloran's office. A few hours later, maybe even a day later down the line, the assistant director is there. The entire Madrid command team is here, kind of discussing things a little bit, and the assistant director finally gets everyone to settle down after being briefed and told how things have gone over the past 24-ish hours or so. Comes to you, Alec. So I gave you about 24 hours to think on it.
Yeah. It took me about 8. But in true ops fashion, it takes the amount of time that you have, right? The amount of time that you're given.
Yeah.
I have thought it over, and I accept.
Right. Oh, damn. I owe Commander Lee 40 Latinum pieces.
Yeah. I owe her significantly more than that. An apology for starters.
Oh.
You both suck at taking bets.
Okay, I played poker with you once when you were a lieutenant a long time ago. Are you ever gonna let that go?
No.
You were clearly bluffing.
You want to take that bet?
Well, not anymore. Well, Commander, this is your team. Wooden box. I think you can do the honors.
She pulls it out and sets it on the table.
I believe that's yours,
And
Caraballo.
Alec will go over and just sort of like reach for the box.
No one's gonna stop you.
Right. I'll open the box.
It is a kind of black and gold bead. It is another pip to your rank.
Shall I do the honors?
Yeah. I'll hand Jaloran the box.
She pulls out the pip, sets the box back down, looks him square in the eye, gives him the most proud smile. You're going to be great, Lieutenant Commander. We need more officers like you. And she fixes the pip in place on his collar.
I think there's like about a dozen different like jokes and like witty comebacks that Alec has like flashed through his brain, but for once he just like sits on them.
Oh, my heart.
Well,
Tate said, sorry.
Nope,
Tate
continue.
says in a very Kadon-like fashion, so you finally caught up to me.
Shut the hell up.
Ah! My heart! Don't do this to me. Oh, I love this show.
Well, commanders, I have to get a transport ready for Jupiter Station for its newest department head of the gate team. But you got a couple hours, so enjoy that time. And as we kind of pull through, and your group kind of reminisces from meeting to this moment, as we kind of white flash forward as Lieutenant Commander Caraballo. Strange having an office in Jupiter Station, and then having the door chime go off to your
like,
office.
Yeah, like enter. I mean, come. Here.
There is a person that you have ended up selecting. She is of Bajoran Beta descent. Definitely has a military background of some kind, but the way she presents herself to you, Alec, just like trying to figure out what formalities to take and things like that. It's like looking in a mirror. Just not even a couple, years ago. Sir, listen, I know you pulled my file and selected me here, but I don't know if I'm the right fit for this, honestly.
Alec will just sort of tilt his head and say, have a seat. Tell me more.
Yeah, sure. And she'll start listing some of her activities and, like, her own academic experience, and that conversation kind of fades out.
I think the whole time, Alec is just like, as she's talking, Alec is like, his expression goes from just sort of like neutral listening to like sort of slowly grin spreading across his face. And yeah, very much remembering a specific conversation with Jaloran.
Mm-hmm.
And you, on your way to Jupiter Station, as you were checking your bags, you found another box. And if you'd opened it up at any point, you would have discovered like a little miniature purple cat. And if you push its chest, there's it emits a little recording of one of Aurelia's favorite songs for you. Just a way to kind of encourage you.
Yeah.
Is that cat on your desk, Commander?
What's this person's rank?
They actually don't have a rank because they were never
Oh,
part
okay.
of Starfleet. Gate is a little different, where it's a specialized
Sure.
team, more specifically, from just anywhere, but the Federation Starfleet affiliated.
Okay. I'll just say that is a story for another time. And believe me, you're going to be here to hear about it because I think this is exactly where you belong.
And I think that is where we are going to end this arc and episode.
Did we shred your hearts enough yet?
But yes, thank you all so much for joining. Thank you, Lucas, for giving us at least a couple episodes to work with, to come up with something and make me stress and grow gray hairs figuring out numerous different types of outs. But
I know. I wish it could have been more. I was just like, that one day I was just ungodly sick, and it just was not
totally
going to happen.
That's totally fine.
It's all good.
But and to all the audience, obviously, didn't think that was gonna happen when the application came in, but we decided to go for it, and it's been great having him around for a season.
Hell yeah.
I will drag his ass back here for a series finale.
Yes.
Oh, you better.
Hopefully some other guest spots as well.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely.
For sure.
I'll probably, whenever arcs come up, I'll just shoot a message, be like, "Hey, this is happening this time," and see where availabilities lie. But
yeah,
and it has been an absolute honor. And I meant to say it up top, but just for anyone on stream, and for the VOD to know, like, we've been doing this for a year now, and it is an absolute pleasure and an honor, and I'm so proud to know all of you.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It's been really fun to play with all of you, and yeah, I've enjoyed this very much, and I wish that I could stay more, but I definitely can't.
Yeah.
No worries. We're happy to have
I
you.
wish that I could have been more regular while you were also a player.
I know.
It sucks
like
that
right
we basically overlapped. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. But all
changing
that
of the guard
said, everyone, we are going to, as always, sign off and hope that everyone, all the players, has been a delightful portion of R&R for your week. See you later.